Hey Scott, how's it going? Yeah, I'm all ready for the end of the world snowstorm. This is the one that seems like it's going to wipe out this human civilization according to the news. I mean, I went to whatchamacallit, ShopRite yesterday, and the people in there were panicking yesterday and buying up everything. Like the shelves were bare yesterday, and I just had to laugh because I mean, growing up we had snowstorms all the time, and it wasn't the end of the world. So I don't understand why now all of a sudden it's like everyone's acting like this is the end. Hey Matt, oh you went? Yeah, you gotta tell me about Japan, how that went. I know you said you like to go every year when you can. But yeah, I don't know. Everyone's panicking like crazy right now. I don't understand it. I mean, yeah, I mean, it can be, you know, hard for certain people, but I don't know. It's just they're losing their minds. Yeah, I mean, I remember as a kid, we would have a snowstorm. Once it let up in the middle of the night or during the day, you'd go out there and you'd shovel your own property. And then I would meet up with my friends and we would go all over town shoveling snow for money. So I don't understand why all of a sudden now it's like, you know, it's a big thing. We would shut down the school for 2 days or a day and that was it. Oh, really, Matt? Yeah, you have to hit me up when you can. Kind of talk about it. Or if you're ever in the area. Oh, yeah, I don't know. It's pretty funny what's going on. Like even where I live, whenever we have snow, literally the next day, by 1 o'clock, it's all starting to melt already. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. As long as I have heat and power, I'm okay. What the hell's going on? Do this. We're still streaming, right? What the hell is that? Yeah, I don't know. YouTube stuff, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens by Sunday. I think they said, what is it, Sunday it's coming? That when it's supposed to hit? I mean, I'll do what I normally do every snowstorm. Wake up, wait for it to let up, go outside, do some shoveling, throw some ice down, come back inside, and that's it. Yeah, I don't know where it's supposed to hit, because first it's like the middle of the country, then it was the south, but then it's like, I don't know. I don't know where it's coming from. Even when we had snow about, what, 3 weeks ago? Something like that, or 2 weeks ago? I remember in the morning I woke up, I shoveled some area, I chopped up the front of the driveway, and literally by 2 o'clock it was pretty much melted. So, what's up, Iceman? But yeah, it's, I don't know. I mean, it could be bad. Just stay home, keep warm, and wait till it clears up. My friend sent me a video just before I streamed that everybody was in a local Walmart ransacking all the water. It's kind of funny. Although he's in Texas, and he says down in Texas, if it snows, they lose their minds because they rarely ever have snow. It's not like here in Jersey where literally they're already salting the roads right now. They have those trucks that spray 3 lines of chemical in the middle of the street, which is like a salt. And then once it starts to snow, it just starts melting right away. Yeah, the people who don't realize that are not experienced with their cars in the snow, that's always an issue. That's a common thing. Some people think their cars can do anything, especially the truck drivers. Well, pickup trucks, more or less. I see more pickup trucks stuck than anything. So my brushes are all shot. Well, you gotta make it look like the character, so it just takes time. And that brush is shot. I think if we could just get the hair looking somewhat decent, she'll come together nicely. Hopefully. I forgot it was Friday. Kept thinking it was Thursday for some reason. Just because Monday I was out with friends for since they were off, so I kept thinking it was like a whatchamacallit, a Sunday or Saturday. Okay, raccoon. Hey, Raz. Yeah, we were just sort of talking about that. It's everyone's losing their absolute minds right now, so it's probably better to stay home and, you know. Yeah, the shop right by me yesterday was an absolute madhouse. I always laugh too. It's like, if there's going to be a hurricane or a snowstorm, the last thing you want to buy is something that's going to go bad in your refrigerator, you know? You want to get non-perishable foods more than anything. But everybody stocks up on meats and stuff and, you know, vegetables or whatever. And then if you're without power for a couple of days, especially like in the summertime, everything goes bad. Unless you have a generator. Hey, Devastator, how's it going? It's not cold here yet. It's actually fairly warmer today. Considering it, the other couple days ago it was absolute freezing. Yeah, my shop right yesterday was empty, so I figured today would be absolutely gone. I did go to Walmart this morning, and people were going crazy buying like you know, food and stuff. But I just went there to get some like bathroom stuff. So it was kind of funny. But yeah, people are going pretty crazy right now. Yeah, that's kind of normal when you get these storms. People just kind of forget. It's probably also the same people who make fun of you when you tell them that you want to have like survival goods and rations in your house. Same people are probably like, "Oh, you're crazy. You'll never need that stuff," you know. Yeah, my mistake is I was supposed to get a generator last summer, but sadly I didn't have the funds for it. So if I lose power, I'll just have to tough it out like I did in the past. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I still have a gas stove, so it's electric lighter starter, but it's still gas. So like, worst case scenario, if I went without power, I could at least sit in the kitchen and put like the stovetop on, you know. So I mean, there is some kind of source of heat, if anything. So it's not the end of the world. See, I need to get. I talked to the AC guy who installed my AC. He told me I need an inverter generator, not a just a cheap generator. I need to get an inverter because with the AC units I have in my house, if I wanted to use those for heat, the regular generator will blow those up, whereas an inverter won't. So, hey butterfly. So yeah, I gotta get myself one of those. I'm not worried about, not worried too much about it. I've been through worse. So it's just a matter of just hunkering down and, you know. I mean, basically, all you really need to do is just, like, stay warm at night if you lose power, right? Just stay warm. Make sure, like, you know, the house is always situated. And then, when you wake up in the morning, if you want to just kill time, you go out and shovel snow, you know? Just shovel your snow, and that'll kill time, keep you warm, active, stuff like that. I remember when we had, what was it, 2015 or was it 2012 when we had that Sandy hurricane down here, and we had like no power for like a week, and it was in November, I think, and it was starting to get really cold out. All I did was I woke up every morning, put on warm clothes, and just did stuff around the house with a flashlight. So, and then when the power came back on, it was fine. Yeah, I can imagine that, Raz. That must have really sucked. But at least you got it done. Hey customer answer, how's it going? Yeah, not a problem. Send it whenever you get a chance. don't know if I like this. It's not. Short hair is always a pain in the ass. I find it's a little bit harder. I don't like what's going on here. It's not. I think I'm gonna have to trying to sculpt it like that. It's not working, so I think I need to do it my own way. That's usually what happens. Try to do it one way, it doesn't quite work out. So let me see if I can do it a different way. Oh, so, in other news besides the end of the world, did you guys see the news about the Batman movie that DC's going to do? Which So I guess we had a good run on Batman and DC movies. I guess it's over now. I didn't think James Gunn was going to go in this direction, but I guess that's where he's going with the movies. Thought he was going to give everything to talented writers, but I guess once again in Hollywood he fell upwards. Yeah, it's the female writer who wrote the Batgirl movie that got completely deleted and no one will ever see that movie. She also wrote the Flash movie and she did something else. So she's lost the studio millions upon millions of dollars and they're still giving her more work, which I don't get. But like I said, this is Hollywood, so you fail upwards. I hated the Flash movie except for the Christopher Reeves scene. I thought that movie was absolutely horrible as a Flash fan. So, oh well. It's pretty crazy how you can lose a studio millions of dollars and still keep getting work. I'll never understand Hollywood these days anymore. I mean, DC needs a couple good wins, you know, but they just, I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know what James Gunn is thinking. Like I said, I thought he was all about getting some really good quality people and really take DC to a good 10-year thing. And then, go ahead and keep somebody who loses money over and over. See, I liked the Superman movie because it was fun and entertaining. It wasn't like, you know, I don't know. I thought it was a little bit different, and it was a little bit more hero-ish movie. So it wasn't bad. I'm hoping Supergirl is at least decent, but I have no faith in the Batman movie now. So I feel that I guess Gunn is going to just start using people that whoever tells him to use, and he's going to put them on movies, and sadly, we're just going to get some really crappy stuff now. Yeah, I would love to be in these studio rooms when they're like, alright, we need to make a Batman movie, and we need a writer. Oh, let's get the writer who's lost the studio millions of dollars. That's a perfect idea, you know? It's like, I would love to be in that room and just look at them and be like, what are you thinking? That's right, though. I think Hollywood knows they're done anyway with AI stuff. I've been messing with that Grok program, and the stuff that thing can do, it's going to put Hollywood out of business. They're on their way up. Then again, I watch YouTube, and when commercials come on, all these famous actors are now doing car commercials, so you know they're on their way out. No, I think the superhero stuff still has life to it. It's just that they keep on putting on people who don't know what the hell they're doing. I think that's the problem. Or they're hiring activists to write movies instead of writing a superhero movie. But at the end of the day, like I always say, it's just whatever now. They don't care, then I don't care. I just have to laugh, though, that they keep doing it over and over and over again. But then again, I think once DC is sold off to Netflix, if it's sold off to Netflix, then DC is done for good. But if DC sold off to Paramount, then we're going to have, whatchamacallit, it's going to be Snyderverse all over again. So, I think at this point, DC is like a done deal. Because you know Netflix is going to screw it all up. I don't trust Netflix at all. Better. The He-Man trailer looks like Guardians of the Galaxy, which I'm not saying is bad, but it's just not. It's not something I'll run out to see. But I mean, it looks like a better He-Man movie than they've done in the past, of course. But I'm afraid that they'll make Teela the hero of the movie, like they did with the cartoon. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I think what it is studios realized that Guardians of the Galaxy was such a good, you know, it was a good Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and then therefore, they all probably like, oh, that's a great formula, so we're going to make everything Guardians of the Galaxy and people are going to watch it. That's kind of like how I see it. Yeah, like I said, I think it's going to be... as far as with Skeletor, I don't even know. I could care less. But I like typical movies, especially what they do with He-Man, is, like you said, he'll be He-Man at the end of the movie, but throughout the whole movie, Teela is going to be the one to go to Earth and bring him back, and she's going to be the hero. I'm already predicting the formula already, you know? It's kind of like, this is what they do on everything. They always make Teela the hero now, in every He-Man thing, and I'm pretty sure it won't be any different with the movie. But I'm not a He-Man fan. I mean, don't get me wrong, I grew up on He-Man. I watched the cartoon and had toys, but it's not like I was clamoring for like a live-action movie of it, you know. But I'm sure there's a couple fans out there that can't wait for it, which is fine. I've always voted with my wallet. Hey Terrell. I love that guy's skit, the comedian guy, where he's like, I gotta go get the bread and milk, I gotta get the bread and milk. It's always been a running joke all these years. I wonder who started that. I remember as a kid, whenever it was ready to snow, it was always, you know, you had to send somebody to go get bread and milk. I never understood why bread and milk for a snowstorm. But Did you guys ever see that old skit? I sent it to my friend earlier. Wow, she thinks she's gonna hit the grocery store? That's crazy. You know that's not happening. That's it. Ow. Now, where did they say it's going to get cold? Like, is it going to be more north? Is it going to be more west? East? Or is it just like the whole entire planet's freezing tomorrow? I went, like I said earlier in the stream, I went shopping yesterday. ShopRite was pretty much ransacked. But as always, people bought perishable food, so if they lose power, they're going to have to put all their food outside. Unless they have a generator. I was actually surprised though when I went out. What the hell is this? Package? Somebody sent something. Alright, another item to work on. Oh, I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, doorbell. It's a UPS guy dropping off something. I think it's one of the ones I have to repair or paint, I forget. I'm losing track sometimes on items. But more work is always good. So Florida for once has it easy when all of us go to get the hell, that's fine. I got enough food to last. I got plenty of warm clothes. I don't have a generator, but I did fill up my car gas tank just in case. And my, I probably should put my grill in the garage then. But I have a full gas tank on the grill too, so I always make sure that the grill is full for the summer and winter, just in case. Change your battery packs in what? Flashlights or the doorbell? Although, if I lost power, I would rather lose power in the summer than the winter. Because I can handle the heat. I hate the cold. Gonna have to put on that, on my, stuff to get this summer is a generator. I gotta get that generator finally. No, my luck, I'll get the generator. I'll probably never need it. Oh, portable battery packs? Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, I like to charge my phone, my laptop, my iPad, get all that stuff charged before the storm hits. My one laptop, it's the Mac Mini, that's the MacBook M1, and those batteries last a long time. So what I'll probably do is I'll probably put like 3 movies on it just in case. Just in case. And then if the power goes out, I could pop it on and watch a movie here and there. The good thing is, I don't need to worry about being on the internet if the power goes out. I know some people lose their damn minds. But for me, I could care less. Yeah, if I was young again, I'd go outside shoveling snow for money if it gets bad. I don't know if anybody would even want to pay these days anyway. I think most people would be like, nah, just let it melt. Yeah, that's why I filled up my car gas tank. I figure if it gets bad and I lost power, I could heat the car up. It's got heated seats, sitting there for a while. Although sitting in one spot for a while wouldn't be good for the car, but whatever. What are they saying with the thing? Where are they saying it's coming? Because I only use the app on my phone at times. So is it like... Is this supposed to be like all over the country or just sort of like... I'm just getting secondhand stuff from people, so I don't know how bad it's going to get. Yeah, we want to eat those together. I know the media is probably loving the storm, because whenever there's a storm, the media loves to, you know, do like non-stop scaring people, so they keep watching. So what I think I need to do is kind of chop this in a bit and then kind of fill that in. But if we can sort of... Historical events? Let's see. Off the top of my head right now, what? The pandemic, 9/11, there was, for me, was Desert Storm, I don't know, like, so when you say historical, is it like weather? Is it like wars? Stupid stuff? I don't know, I'm trying to think of what other historical events that really come to mind. Berlin Wall? Yeah, I think I was a little too young to really even know what the hell that was all about. I was never, ever, ever, ever into politics growing up, so, and social studies was my worst subject, so I don't really remember a lot of stuff or care to remember a lot. Jupiter's Comet? I vaguely remember that. When was that? Oh, the Voyager, yeah, that I remember, because I remember, I think I was in 5th grade? I remember, no, probably younger, I think maybe like 4th grade. No, maybe 5th, I think it was 5th. And I remember we were all in the hallway watching one of those TVs, you know, the old Bluetooth TVs, and I remember it happening. I still don't, like, remember. I know people were panicking and crying. I didn't really think about it. I think more of the major events I think about is all the conspiracy stuff when they booted up CERN. And then there's the whole conspiracy that the Voyager never blew up and those people are still working at NASA now. So I'm a firm believer, you know, well, no, I wasn't around for the moon landing, but I was around for when they started calling the moon landing fake. 94, so I was in 8th grade. Yeah, I always believe that they're never telling us the truth, so there's probably way more going on. Well, it reminds me of that, you ever see those guys on YouTube? It's called The Whitest Kids You Know. They did a skit about the moon landing, and the kid the one kid was telling the teacher who filmed him getting out off the shuttle. He's like, if Neil Armstrong was the first man on the moon, who's filming? So I always like stuff like that. So that was a good sketch comedy show. Yeah, I think they were on cable, maybe. Maybe they weren't just YouTube. I can't remember. Yeah, Whitest Kid You Know, that sketch comedy show was so damn funny. And that's why, anytime someone talks about moon landing, I always think of that one skit they did. Yeah, I know. That if you get a chance, watch that skit. Whitest Kids You Know, moon landing. It's funny as hell. And then go down the rabbit hole of the Whitest Kids You Know, their YouTube and their videos. Oh, they're funny as hell. Absolutely love that show. Of course, if that show ever came out now, people would lose their minds. Yeah, I believe, and then they said they can't get the technology again to get back to the moon. Like, are you kidding me? You mean I have an M4 Mac Mini processor that can process crazy amounts of information, but we can't get technology to go back to the moon. None of it makes sense. Just doesn't make sense at all. And then there's also those, those rumors where NASA goes on eBay all the time to buy old computer parts because they have to try to salvage that old technology. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. I love the, what is it? What did they call it? The pervament? that we can't even escape into outer space because there's a dome around the planet. We're basically just sea monkeys to aliens. That's pretty much what it is. Yeah, that's the story that when they got to the moon, the aliens came up to them and said, "Get off the moon, go back." They were told to get off. So that's another story that's been going around. It's kind of funny, we're talking about all the stuff we kind of gone through. Do you remember when, you know, years ago they told us that the Ice Age was coming, but then we were going to flood the planet, and then if you were using paper bags at the supermarket, you were destroying trees, so you had to stop using paper bags, but plastic bags was the solution. But now if you use plastic bags, they're killing the planet, so now you have to use a bag that you bring back and forth to the store with you. So at this point, no matter what we do, we're doing something bad, you know. So I forget, what is it, in the 80s it was the Ice Age. Then what was it, the 90s it was we were gonna have flooding, and then the 2000s it was global warming. But then, if you noticed, we always get taxed every time there's a problem with humanity, and they never take those taxes away. So basically, it's just a means of taxing people. So that's pretty much all it is. Throw more money at it, and that's going to solve the problem. Well, I think the new tax is they want to tax the rain now, at least in New Jersey, because I guess the toxic rain is seeping all the chemicals from your house into the ground and all that stuff. So that's kind of like the next thing going on. I don't know. Like I said, at this point, they just want to keep taxing everybody till basically you make no money anymore. Yeah, you can't collect rain on your property. You can't do anything anymore. All they want to do is just keep taxing. Just tax till you basically... I know the new governor of New Jersey, what's her name? She wants to tax everybody like crazy now. So, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get some crazy taxes coming in. It's gonna be like Spaceballs. We're gonna get taxed on oxygen next. Clean air. Well, like I said, I remember back in when Obama was president, I remember they wanted to stop everybody from growing gardens on their own property. Because my father was always growing tomatoes, and there was this whole thing where they wanted to stop you from having your own food source. So... But everybody was like, screw you, we'll grow our own food. Basically, it comes down to the people just got to stop listening and just say, what are you going to do? You know? Hold on, I wanted to... Been watching the silver price. We broke 100 today, finally. Kind of curious of where it's at right now. First time in history. Holy crap, we're almost at 103. Silver's screaming. How much is gold? Gold is almost 5,000. Holy crap. I know you guys probably aren't really into it, but I've just been, you know, with the dollar going downhill, I've been paying attention to gold and silver. And silver right now is 103. First time in history, it broke $100 today. And now it's just going up more. Now, what is it? Gold and silver are the top investments in the world now. Silver beat out, silver and gold is gold's number 1, silver's 2. It beat out Alphabet, Apple, and Nvidia. So it's probably, I still say gold, I mean silver's going to hit 200 by the summer. Wow, it's 50 now? Nice. Yeah, I mean that's the goal, but it's kind of still the best investment now to get like silver and gold, especially silver. But like I said, I've been watching it. I've been keeping an eye on it because I just want to, you know, just seeing where it's going, how things are going. So it's good to be on top of this stuff. What it is they want everybody to not pay attention to this because they don't want people running to the bullion stores buying this up. Because if they can keep it on the down low and make sure normal people don't stock up, then they can control you better. Yeah, that's kind of what's happening. So, like, I've been really watching what's going on, and you know, and I try to tell a couple people you should stock up on some gold and silver. I'm not like an investment, you know. I'm not saying go out and blow your whole savings, but that's why I would never buy gold or silver stock. Like, if you're gonna buy stock, you might as well just buy the physical asset, you know. But the dollar is going to shit. And when it does, people who have been stacking silver and gold for years are going to be doing very, very well. So I know J.P. Morgan sold all their shorts. And like I said, I've been really listening to a lot of this stuff lately. Really kind of seeing where everything's going. Just making sure I'm ahead of the game. Because you know what it is the media is so focused on what's going on in Minnesota, and they're so focused on all this other stuff. But the gold and silver, they talk about it a little bit, but they're not talking about it a lot. But what's going on is, like, all the bullion dealers, they're not getting in their silver from the, you know, the refineries because they're backlogged, and it's going to get to the point where the dollar is going to go to absolute shit. But people who have gold and silver are going to do very well. Well, I've been studying a lot of the gold stackers and the silver stackers. What they say is you don't go out and blow your whole savings. You go to a coin shop and you pick up a silver eagle or a silver maple leaf or a generic silver, and you pick it up once in a while. Like every time you get a paycheck, maybe you buy one, or every other paycheck, and you start stacking that way. It's dollar cost average. You know, I wish somebody told me about like this back when I was in high school. I could have been buying silver ounces for like $2, you know. Yeah, I've been looking at that Devastator a lot. Yeah, like I said, I'm not giving financial advice, but right now silver's still at $100. I still believe that it's going to go up even more. I believe it is. So, if I were you guys, like every once in a while, go pick up a coin. I try and do it when I can. Of course, you know, I don't have the funds to do it either, but you know, I would love to. I watch these guys on YouTube, and they got stacks and stacks and stacks of silver. They're probably sitting on like $500,000 worth of precious metals. You know, it's like insane what they have. And they were all laughed at years ago, and now they're the ones laughing. And what's funny is all the crypto people are selling their crypto to buy silver now. So it's pretty much, it's like a world shift. You know, I think the world is waking up to the fiat currency, like you said, and they're like, we've had enough of this crap. I notice a lot more younger people are kind of getting into the silver and gold now. I've been watching the videos. So I think what it is they're priced out of the market. You know, like most stocks now are like $300, $500. So you really can't buy stocks like you used to. Yeah, I can see that happening, Raz. I'm just watching what things are going, just seeing where things are shifting, what people are moving into. It's always, whenever they're telling you this, or they're focused on this big, big media thing, or if there's some kind of riots or whatever, you always look what's going on over there, and you find out that that's really what's more important than this crap. And they're always trying to keep the masses dumbed down. So I'll just keep studying, looking, and hopefully do some better investments down the line. Man, I can't get over the price on this. It just was on a tear for the past 3 months. And now it's just going like crazy. What is it? Like, isn't the ratio supposed to be like, if gold is about 5,000, silver is supposed to be like what, around like I think it's supposed to be around 800 or 1,000, something like that? Something. Shit, when I was working, I think gold was only like $300. Now it's $5,000. That's crazy. I think it's a good start there. So, wash my hands real quick. Devastator, have you been looking at any of the other stocks too? The mining stocks? I've been watching a couple of them here and there, the cheaper ones, and I've been doing some research, especially the stacker guys. They've been mentioning a bunch of different ones, so I'm kind of trying to look into those a little bit here and there. I'm just trying to get other opinions and talk to other people about this stuff. Certain people, family and friends I have, could care less about any of this crap, so they'd rather watch sports every weekend or bet on what is those damn apps for betting on sports games. So anytime I try to mention this stuff, they're just like, whatever. So I just figured I'd talk about it, tell you guys, because it's kind of important what's going on, instead of focusing on the media lying to us all the time. What is it, the old saying, when the media starts talking about it and everybody knows about it, that's when it's going to be too late. That's kind of like once the masses know about it, that's when everyone's gonna run to your coin shops, and it's gonna be too late to get any of this stuff. Oh, okay, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I checked in a couple of the other ones that the miners been talking about. I mean the stackers. I got them on my watch list on my E-Trade account. I figured if I ever do get some funds, but they're still early, because you know they say these mining companies are probably 5 years out. You know, so it's good to kind of get in, and it's like a gamble. It's like I told you last time, it's like buying a lottery ticket every week. You know, long term, seeing what happens. But I got a couple I'm watching. I figure if I could do some good projects this summer in sales, maybe I could pick up some stuff. It's that's kind of where the future is now. For years it was about computers and AI chips and graphics cards, and we've got to the point now where our computer chips are so goddamn good, it's we can't go any further yet. Now it's mining is kind of the future, because you need all those resources for this stuff. So kind of been looking into it more. I also find it fun. It's better than watching some crappy movie from Disney every week, or looking forward to that. I'm kind of just studying where the economy's going, how to cover my ass, stuff like that. I know it may be boring to some of you, but can only talk about how Disney's failing every week too much. Yeah, I've been looking into the whole Greenland thing, and while the media is acting like what's going on with Greenland, it turns out that the rumor is they found a silver mine or a very high deposit of silver in Greenland that is so massive that it's kind of like a fight, like all the countries are fighting to get it now. So that's kind of like what I've been looking into, like below the surface. Because there is no silver mines. It's more or less silver is a byproduct of mining like tungsten and gold and copper. But they said that this mine has such a silver concentration in it, it's unreal. I think they said it was like, what do? We have like 2 billion ounces or something a year or something, or whatever it was, that's in that mine alone. I don't know, something like that. So that's why I'm looking into a lot more of the mining companies. And they're only like, they're like penny stocks now, but if things go where they're going and every mining company is like producing like crazy, they could all go up. It's kind of the hope, Yeah, there's definitely more with Greenland and Venezuela and all that stuff. Way more going on than what they're telling us. You want me to do a pump and dump coin? We could do it. I probably would only sell like 4 of them, but we could do it. Yeah, there's something going on. There's more than we know. There could be other stuff in there we don't even know about, So, all I know is I just want to make it be comfortable, keep doing statues, and then when I kick the bucket, you young guys got to deal with it on your own. So, that's kind of my plan. I know, selfish, but it's where I'm at. There could be some crazy alien technology they found out there too, that the silver is just a cover-up too, You never know what the hell's going on out there. Yeah, they could have found the Ark. They could find the old technology. Who the hell knows? It'd be funny once the Greenland and Venezuela thing is over and done with. All of a sudden, watch, we get some kind of new technology pumped out, and they found it, but they wanted to get it before everyone else. Yeah, I could see that too. Yeah. Well, isn't it over in was it China right now or Japan? Like they're buying up precious metals like crazy, like the people. Like there's so much fake silver out there that they don't even know what they're buying anymore. It's crazy what's going on. Probably why Disney is going to hell, because they know that the US is going to hell. Sort of like, screw it, let's just let this burn to the ground and then we'll start fresh over somewhere else. Wouldn't put it past them. Yeah, they call it, what are they calling it? The modern day Rome burning, basically. Sorta. Yeah. That would, I might have to. I don't know if they'll accept me, though. Well, with the new governor of New Jersey, she, I think, didn't they start like a leaving New Jersey tax? So if you want to leave the state, you got to pay a tax now. So, they want to keep you here, you know, because they know people are going to run. Well, no, that's smart, Devastator. That's the way to do it. Sadly, I wouldn't be able to go, or I got my parents here, so sadly, I have to deal with that. But, if they're not around anymore, I might have to. It's, it just seems like nothing's looking good anymore. You know? Hey JC, how's it going? But for now, I'm just kind of doing what I can on my end. You know, keep an eye on those stocks. If I can start getting gold and silver, well, I think gold is out of my range. Yeah, JC, right now, gold, silver's at 103. Broke 100 today for the first time ever. That's why I kind of brought it up. I wish I was buying silver when I was a kid. Shit was only $3. But didn't have anybody telling me what to do back then, you know? It was kind of... wasn't really the thing to do. See, back then, silver was like 3, gold was like 300. Well, I think, no, when I was a kid, gold was a lot less. But I think around 2001, it was around 300. But my belief, it's still not too late. I still believe you can still buy gold and silver now while you can before it's too late. Yeah, well, supposedly Costco limited that a while ago because what people were doing is, before any of this became a thing, the stackers, what they were doing is they were going to Costco when they had a lot of points for Costco. They would get the gold and silver at a discount. You know, like if say you had like $100 discount, $300 discount with your points, they would buy the gold and silver, and then they would go back the next day when the price went up or whatever, and they return it, and you would get the money for the points you used. So it was like a big scam they were doing. So Costco got wind of it, so they changed that up. But right now, Costco is empty because people are starting to learn about the gold and silver, so they're running to Costco because that's all they know. But if you have a coin shop near you, you could go into a coin shop and you could get generic silver or American Eagles or Maple Leafs, because most coin shops have them. Because the premium doesn't matter anymore. I'm learning about coins. So if you had a American Eagle regular bullion, which was like, say, spot $70, but they had the collector's edition American Eagle that was like specifically stamped, graded. That was like $100. But now, since everything is $100, the coin shops are like, whatever you want, doesn't matter. Yeah, there's no way credit unions have any right now. They are hoarding it all. You can either order it online. There's a SD Bullion. I like that place, Texas Metals, Texas Mint Metals or something. I like them better. There's a couple other places. There's Amex. SD Bullion seems to be the most popular. But if you want to buy silver or gold without like having to do it online, find a coin shop by you. Don't go to like a pawn shop, because they might have fake ones there. You want to go to an actual coin shop. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned the banks. I I got an email from them in before Christmas from TD Bank, and they said by January 4th we're changing your checking account. You have to have a minimum of $250, or you're going to get like penalized like $60. I was like, what the hell? I've been with you guys since you were Commerce Bank back in 2000, and you're changing these rules. So I went to TD Bank. I sat down with the lady. The lady was the rudest person ever. She's like, well, you have to have a direct deposit of $500 a month and you can get free checking. I go, I'm a freelance artist. I never know when I get paid. I get paid when I get done with work. So it's not constant. She's like, well, we could give you a checking account, but you got to pay $15 a month. I'm like, I'm not paying $15 a month to have a checking account. So she was like, I can't help you. And she walked away from me. And I was like, you kidding me? So I went and found a smaller bank that has complete free checking. So I'm in the process of switching over. But yeah, and when I was at that smaller bank, I told the lady, she's like, can I ask you why you're opening up an account? I said, oh, I was with TD Bank, but they're screwing me over. She's like, you're like the 100th person this week to come in and open up an account, leaving TD Bank. So all the major banks, I think they got screwed over their short positions on silver. They lost billions and billions of dollars. So I think what they're doing is they're taking that out on the customers now. So they're raising your fees if you have low in your checking, or they're going to start charging you to have checking accounts or savings accounts. So right now, like, everybody's going to smaller banks now. So that's kind of why I found a smaller bank. And the cool thing about the smaller bank I found is if I use the debit card and I get charged at an ATM, they refund me completely at the end of the month. Free checks, free checking, no minimum balance. It's exactly what I need as a freelance artist. So yeah, I'm actually shocked with TD Bank. I never had a problem with them, but now they're gouging everybody. And they're gouging you bad. So it's kind of funny. I was like, oh, you know, I've been a customer for you guys for like, 25 years now, blah, blah, blah. And the lady's like, I can't help you. So I'm like, it doesn't even matter if you're a good customer and you've never missed a payment or whatever. They're like, we want our money. So that's kind of what I've been dealing with for the past week. Switching over. I gotta like change up all my accounts, billing accounts, all that stuff. So stupid, I swear to God. These banks are just... they're just getting worse. And it's funny too, TD Bank was small too. It was Commerce Bank, and then it was TD Bank, and they were fairly like the smaller banks, they were kind of like, new, and then as I guess they got bigger and bigger and bigger, and then now they just, screw over everybody. So yeah, I'm kind of done with them now. It's one thing to be like, if I went in there, the lady's like, sorry, like, I don't make the rules. This is TD Bank rules. I can't really help you. She was just like, I can't help you, and she just walks away. I was like, and I wasn't being an ass at all. I was just being like, can you help me out? Can you do something? Is there a way you can work with me on my account? They're like, nope. So, lesson learned. TD's Canadian? That explains it. Damn Canadians. Misty Sonya Blade? Nah. This is This was a Tomb Raider, right? Oh, shit, it's kind of. Let me see. Is it a little too dark? Yeah, that's, oh yeah, it's just some image of her I'm just kind of using as a little bit of a reference type thing, that's all. Yeah, TD Bank, Bank of America, like Wells Fargo, if you go in there and you ask for $5,000, or if you deposit like $5,000, they demand to know where the money came from now. It's like, it doesn't matter where the money came from. It's $5,000 deposited. They question you now where the money comes from. So and also I learned that if you take $25,000 out of your account, you have to go through all this paperwork or something. Like, you can't just take money out of the account anymore. You're like limited to like $3,000 a week or something. Yeah, I'm done. I'm just I'm getting away from them. They're causing too many problems. They want to jack me for as much money as possible, so screw them. It's almost at the point where just use PayPal, you know? Yeah, so it's like I said, it's getting to the point where, like, even if the smaller banks start causing problems, I'll just use PayPal. Yeah, I've noticed a bunch of smaller banks popping up lately too, so I think smaller banks are seeing the writing on the wall, and they're probably like, we can kind of start pulling in some new customers. But yeah, TD Bank is shot. They're I'm done with them. You know, it's one thing to change up your account. It's another thing to like jack up the prices so high on like minimum fees that it's like you're just taking my money now. Yeah, that's what I'm doing now. So, like I said, I think I'm in a process now where I gotta just put in all my billing online, and I gotta just change like where money from eBay goes to now, because you know eBay doesn't do direct deposit to PayPal anymore. But once I change that up, I could just go to the TD bank and say, look, close out my account, I want my money back. So I'll be really happy to get away from TD Bank. I noticed too that TD Bank, if you use their debit card in any other ATM but TD Bank, you get charged, and they don't like fix any of that stuff. Even though they claim you could use your bank anywhere and you won't get fees, but you still get fees. They don't do anything about it. So that's why, like all these years when I had a debit card with them, I would go to an actual TD ATM. But no, TD used to be great. I would say they were great up to about, I think 2020 during the lockdowns is when I realized they started going downhill. That's kind of like when I noticed they wouldn't help me with my accounts. Because I, you know, as a small business, you know, they had the PPP loans and stuff. So I went to them and asked them for help, and they were like, get out of here, we can't help you, you know. So, lesson learned. Hard lesson learned. So maybe what I'll do is this weekend finish up the account, and maybe next week I can just go in and close it. Well, they still do Sunday hours. They were like the first bank to do like Sunday hours, at least in my area. But oh well, like I said, I'm getting away from them. Moving on. Oh, they eliminated it in your area? Yeah, they still have it on Sundays here. It used to be early Sundays, but then it went to, I think, 11 to 3 or 11 to 1 or something. Yeah, that's what the banks do. If everybody went to a bank and they demanded their money, they don't have enough cash on hand to pay everybody. That's why they limit people money. So if there was ever a bank run, there's not enough cash to get it. And the other thing too is, I would never ever have a safety deposit bank at a bank, because if the system ever crashed, those people are not coming to open up your safety deposit box, and they probably would steal it anyway. So that's another thing I don't trust, like TD Bank and stuff. Well, I'm not wealthy enough to have money in the accounts anyway, so even if they crash, it's not like it's going to hurt me. But then again, I don't like keeping a lot of money into those banks anyway. Well, what is it? When you put your money into your account, they're using your money in the stock market, and they're using your money to make money for themselves. But if you wanted to go in and take your money out, they won't give it to you. So it's a racket, man. It's all racket. The man is keeping us down. That's why I say I think silver and gold is the play going forward. Because if JP Morgan is buying up physical silver like crazy, you know that's where it's going. Because they are buying it like mad now, from what I hear. Yeah. And if they were to lose all that cash, we're screwed, you know? But yeah, I think what it is from what I was hearing is the smaller banks are going to get hurt bad because they're still short in like silver and gold, while J.P. Morgan has sold all their shorts, and now they're kind of like going long on it. And now all the hedge fund managers are telling everybody to buy silver and gold in your portfolios. But they won't tell the normal people this stuff. Yeah, they got a lot of problems, and that's why there's the Comex is screwing with silver. The Comex is doing, I guess that one guy I watch on YouTube, what they call nukes, stock nukes or whatever it is, to keep the silver down. Because if the silver skyrocketed to where it's supposed to be, guys like, you know, places like J.P. Morgan and all those banks would just crash, you know. So, that's why I've been watching this stuff, and I'm just learning more and more, and it's like these guys who've been stacking silver and gold for like 20 years now are like sitting on a pretty penny. They're like, everyone's saying they're going to become the new millionaires, you know. All the people that went into crypto are moving into like silver and gold, and they say like the silver and gold hoarders are going to be like the new millionaires. Which is probably true, which is probably going to happen. So, but like I said, whenever there's a shitstorm going on, watch what these people are doing, and then you see that they are the ones who really know what's going on, and therefore, I don't know. We'll all be on the breadline waiting together. How about that? Well, the whole thing with Fort Knox, if I remember correctly, this was around 2016. Supposedly, around 2020, like 2016 or 2020, there was like this whole thing going on with Fort Knox and the gold, that it was stolen, but then supposedly we got it back. And then in the past 2 years, all of a sudden the banks in the UK, in Europe, were demanding all the silver come back to them because they couldn't fill up the orders because of the whole silver shortage. And that's kind of where we're in this whole thing now. So, yeah, Raccoon, what is it? The bars of, yeah, from that train movie? What was it? What was that train movie where it was going through the ice, kept going through the circle? It's like, the theory is that train movie is the sequel to Willy Wonka. So, yeah, it's the guy with Chris Evans was in it. And the theory is that it was the sequel to Willy Wonka, and and the guy at the end was Charlie. Snowpiercer. Yeah, Snowpiercer, that's it. That's it. Well, that's the funny thing is, I was telling some people about Bitcoin when it was around like $12,000 Bitcoin, and I told a couple friends and family, I'm like, yeah, you should put some money down. I'm like, don't put a lot down, just, you know, put a couple bucks down. It's gonna go up. And they're like, no, no, no. So I think when mine went up, I used it to buy all my computers. So I sold mine to get the Mac Minis, the monitors, and I upgraded all my whole computer because I figured at that time I needed it. But I think right now is like where Bitcoin was back then, I think silver is now. That's kind of my theory. Because we're in such a silver deficit and silver is in everything. So I think within a couple years people are going to wish they got silver when it was $100, you know. Because if the dollar crashes and all the governments start going on gold and silver, you're going to wish you had some. Like I'm saying, don't go out and blow your bank account, but I mean, if you could go out and buy like a $100 CGC comic book or buy a $500 statue or a $1,000 statue, I don't see the big deal of skipping one of those once in a while and buying some silver, you know? At least that's kind of like my plan. And like the old saying is whenever those financial advisors on like, you know, CNN, CNBC and stuff tell you like, this is the great stock, stay away from gold and silver, or sell your gold and silver now while it's so high, you always do the opposite. So if they're telling you to sell it, that's when you want to buy it. And when they tell you that you want to buy it, that's kind of when you sell it, you know. Because a lot of those, I've seen a lot of those videos of these like news guys saying that, you know, yeah, that guy, you know, like they're like, sell your silver now, sell your silver and gold now. It's the highest it's ever been. It's never going to go any higher. That's kind of, it's like when you're like, oh, okay, maybe I should buy more, you know. Because if I listened to him, Devastator, when I was buying my Apple, I would regret it now, you know. Yeah, so you always do the opposite of what they tell you. It's funny you said his name too, because I won't name it, but that's kind of like this saying now is, whatever that guy says, you do the opposite. Well, they told everybody to sell TSM, which is Taiwan Semiconductor, and look at that now. That company skyrocketed to like what, $320 a share now or something. But they were telling everybody to get out of these AI stocks and sell it. I have to laugh at the .com era. They were telling everybody, sell your stuff, get out of it now while you can. And all those people who kept their Apple, Microsoft, whatchamacallit, Amazon made out like bandits. Yeah. It's so funny you say that because it's like, it's so damn true now, you know? It's so true. Oh, that's funny as hell. I have to laugh at that, I really do. Yeah, I remember, what was it? It was probably around, so I started my job in 2001. And then I started with their simple IRA plan. And that's when I started having to fight with the lady, telling the Morgan Stanley lady I want to buy Apple. Because that's like, I knew Apple was going in this direction. And she's, no, 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 you don't want Apple. I want to put you in what my son's doing. I'm like, I don't care what your son's doing. This is what I want. And I was fighting with this lady and I had to tell my boss, I'm like, can you tell this lady that this is what I want in my portfolio? And he's like, he had to tell her, he's like, look, you got to just do what he wants. This, you know, and she's like, all right, fine. And I think it was around 2000. So when did the iPhone come out? Like around, I think, before the iPhone. It was like, iPhone was like, what, around 2008? Maybe? Or 7. I forget. And I remember her, we were going to change over to a new agent. And I remember her telling me, like, I told you should sell your Apple. You're going to regret it. And then I remember I heard rumblings about the iPhone, and I was like, I need to get more in my portfolio. And then I wish I could go back to that lady now and meet her again and say, yeah, you think I should have still sold it? Maybe she got her son screwed up and he lost all his money. But I remember Kramer saying, sell it, sell it, sell it. And I'm like, but they're coming out with an iPhone. They're coming out with a phone. I'm like, why would you want to sell it now, you know? Wait, he did what? He ushered it in? Really? It's kind of funny though, because the dude's rich as all hell. Well, I gotta put my glasses on and see what you said. What? Oh, yeah, yeah. You know what it is I was telling my friend this. We don't need a person like him on the news anymore. You know, we have the internet. And the internet, with everybody out there, you kind of see what's going on now. You don't need a newspaper anymore. You don't need analysts. All you need to do is look at the people and what they're doing, right? So, I saw AI coming up. And I saw that after the millennial generation, the young generation after that, which is what, Gen Z, right? I think after millennials, or Gen Y? Gen Z, I think it is. They would never, those kids wouldn't do anything but be on an iPad or on a phone, right? So that told me that why get rid of your Apple stock? Why get rid of your AI chip stock or your computer chips when these kids are going to be on these phones for their whole lives, you know? And I remember telling the new Morgan Stanley guy I got, he was like, oh, you know, you should sell. I'm like, no, man. I go, this generation of kids and the generation after that are never going to give up these devices. They're always going to be in demand. So there's no reason to sell it. And what's the generation now? Is it like Generation ZY and it's Alpha or something? These kids are going to grow up with AI, and they will never, ever, ever do any kind of artwork on their own. They're just going to do prompts. So the AI stuff is here to stay. So yeah, so Alpha is kind of like the AI generation, I would say. And I think these generation of kids are going to live on AI and never get off of it. So there's no reason to get out of those computer chip makers, which is like TSM, because they're just going to keep pumping this out for them. Yeah, Raccoon, I've heard stories of that type of stuff, you know. Yeah, these kids are so hooked on social media and their phones that you might as well just like embed it into their heads, you know. That's why I say our generation and our age, like I would say we're kind of Generation X. I would assume most of us are. Hopefully, when we get to our 70s, that's when all our collectibles and all these statues and all this stuff will never be able to be sold because we're going to be too old to really buy this stuff or want it anymore. So I always been telling people, if you have a collectibles you really don't care about, I would suggest getting rid of them now, because I don't see the young generation wanting any of this stuff. Just like our generation and millennials don't want anything from our parents, like the boomers era, like Buck Rogers and all that stuff. I see it like toy stores are like, we don't buy that stuff anymore because we can't sell it anymore, you know? It just comes in waves, different generations. Yeah, pretty much. But like I said, you enjoy the stuff while you can, you know? But I got to the point in the lockdowns was I saw that everything was selling for crazy amounts of money online, and I said to myself, if I can't have it out in the open and look at it, enjoy it, I don't want it anymore. So all those comics I had in boxes and all the toys packed away that I grew up as a kid, I was like, I don't need this stuff anymore. It's just collecting dust in the closet, and that's why I built that the display room with the module cases, because I want to see the stuff I enjoy. So I got like two long boxes of comics to get rid of, which is my Captain Marvel and Flash stuff, and then a couple graded books. And I think I'm kind of just focusing on getting statues I want to get printed and painted up for myself, and a couple more signed comic books. So that's kind of my thing going forward. I'm all about, like, if I can't see it, I don't want it. It'd be like the Simpsons with all those, where they made fun of that, oh no, it was Futurama. When they went to the space and it was the landfills and it was all those Bart Simpson dolls. It's gonna be like Wolverine statues, Batman statues, and Superman statues. Yep, Harley Quinn. Who else? Getting older sucks, but whatever. At least we had a good run in the 90s, right? 80s and 90s. Starting to kind of create the hair a bit. That should look good in our little poof hanging off the side. Why do I keep thinking it's supposed to snow tonight? Everyone's been talking about, even getting messages from people I know, are you ready for this weekend? I'm like, what the hell? It's not. Wait, what, Devastator? I thought that was only in the UK. Oh man, old cars are gonna skyrocket in value now. Damn it, I wish I could have kept my old car and it didn't die on me. I had a 2006 Subaru Impreza. It was just a basic car, you know. Heat, AC, and drive and reverse. That's all I needed. All the new cars now, they're friggin' computers on wheels, and you can literally probably shut them off with a button and hack them. Yeah, humanity's screwed. Yeah, I knew the 3D printer thing was going to come sooner or later. You know what they're going to do? Is they probably realized that 3D printing has went crazy. So they're going to start coming out with, you can't have a 3D printer because it's environmentally bad, or it's toxic, or blah, 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 or you have to have a license. They're going to slowly implement that against the people. And then it's going to get to the point when you can only print at like a Kinko's or, you know, or a 3D printing company. Because then they're going to claim you can't have a 3D printer because you could print weapons that can't be scanned. I knew that 3D printing was going to come sooner or later. Because God forbid you're able to 3D print something for your house that broke when they want you to go to the store and buy it, you know? Yeah, it's all about weapons, and it's, you know, honestly they could care less about if it kills the environment. It's about control, you know. And the sad thing is, as we get older, the young generation is just going to allow it. They're going to be like, here's your free cell phone. Just vote for us and just sit in your corner and watch TikToks all day. That's what's going to happen. Oh, well, the young generation is going to have to step up. We're getting too old for this shit. I'm getting too old for this shit. How about that? Damn it, I'm running out of my orange soap. I wonder if Home Depot tomorrow is going to be a madhouse. If we're going to go pick up another bottle tomorrow. Especially when I start sculpting again. That orange stuff helps get the A's off the fingers pretty well. Alright. Show you guys what's going on. Pop that off real quick. Alright, so it's slowly getting there. This is kind of my style for her hair. So kind of let this cure up, and then next week what I could do is add a little points here and there, finish up this area. I think I'm gonna have to grind this area out a bit. I don't like the way it's there. I kind of want it to curve in a little bit. I'm pretty happy with the bangs and stuff. It's just this area's got to be more like messy. But I kind of like the way this separated back here, so I think that looks pretty good. So what's going to happen is I'm going to keep building out this hair piece so it can go on the side. We could kind of glue it in at the end, but I just want to make this a little bit fuller than what it is right now. But I think that'll look pretty good going in. Like I said, short hair is kind of hard. But I think that'll look good when it's in there like so. And we should pretty much, let's see if we can kind of get in the camera. So, slowly getting there. Yeah, I just gotta grind this area out a bit. And start adding a little points, a little bit messiness around up in there, a little bit of points around there. And I think that should look pretty decent. I finished up the Medusa. I'm not gonna pull her out because she's in the other room. I gotta do the video this weekend. But I ordered a clear resin for her cup, which was the AK Interactive. So that stuff I'll be using for the base when I'm ready to do the base. The only problem is it's the water. You can only put it in like 3 millimeters at a time. So what's gonna happen is I'll have to, once we get the base sort of done, I'll have to pour in a little bit each day and kind of fill it in with the skull in. So it should lock it in place. It should look pretty good. But that's Misty. She's going to look, I like this hair piece. So this is working out pretty well. I want to put this over here so I don't screw it up. But since I got a little Aves extra, we can kind of clean up Peach's hair a bit. So let's kind of fill this in, cured up pretty well. Alright, stay there. Yeah, also to Raz emailed me earlier this morning. He's got the parts printed out for her and Cammy. So once the storm is over, I guess Raz can ship it out and we can deal with it then. No reason to try to send it out with the storm. Where is Peach stuff? Alright. Let's make sure the brushes aren't too caked up. Real quick, where's the silver at? 103. Wow. Broke 100, already went up $3. That's crazy. Crazy. Who passed? John Staten? Wait. Wait. Why do I know the last name, but wait a second. Wait, didn't he do a... Wait. Oh, I'm thinking of Joe Staten. John Staten? I don't know who John is. I know Joe. Are you sure you're not mean Joe? Wait. Yeah, I don't know who John is. Oh, okay. I would have to look up his art then. I know Joe Staten because he did a bunch of those Power Girl books and stuff. So I was about to say, wait a second, he passed? He is up there in age, so. Oh, okay. Yeah, sadly a lot of the old guys are passing. It's sad, but we're all getting up there now. And the sad thing is, in 100 years, no one's gonna care about any of us. That's even if humanity's still around. Nah, that's why I've been making it a point to go to these comic shows and see a lot of these older artists and try to get, you know, signatures and meet them and stuff, because it's kind of funny. I was talking to my friend about this. When I was really younger into comics, a lot of these excuse me, these older guys, it was very hard to meet them because the lines would be out the door, you know, at these shows. And now that they're older, a lot of the younger guys don't really care about them. And you could go right up to their booths and you can sit there and talk to them. So, except for the real top names, but a lot of the other guys that are probably in their 70s, you could go right up to the booth and talk to them and stuff. And it's fun because you can sit there, you can say, I love your work, you know, you could talk to them. But sadly, a lot of them are passing on, or they can't go to shows anymore. So it's just kind of the nature of the beast, you know. Well, sadly too, what I have to do, I even told my friend about this, is I have to sort of set up a will. And I have to, and I've noticed too, a couple of my other friends are doing this. They're telling their wives, you know, or or some of their family members, they're like, if they ever kick the bucket, call this friend or call that friend and have them come here and take care of my collection, because the wives won't know what the hell you got, or the family members might not know what you got. Because I have a cousin who he will never know what the hell to do with any of this stuff, but my friend would. So that's why I have to set up where if I ever do kick the bucket, my friend could come in and he can take what he wants, you know, and sell the rest and know what's what. Because, you know, family members will probably come in and, you know, either throw all the statues in the trash or call up a comic book store to come pick it up for like $50, you know. So sadly, like, if you guys have collections, you gotta kind of like, as we get older, we gotta start planning this. It's funny too, like, I guess my parents' generation, as they get older, a lot of their collectibles and stuff were all crap. Nobody really collects them anymore. So you could have like garage sales, or you could go to like a antique shop or something. Whereas for us, it's kind of different, you know. See, it's like, I don't really, like, when I kick the bucket, I really don't care what happens to myself, because at that point you can't take it with you. It's just that I would want to make sure that whoever I know that's left can actually take this stuff and sell it or keep it and do something with it, instead of just throw it away, you know? Yeah, that's the problem, is like, you know, that's why my parents sort of like, when they got into their 60s, they started like deciding that it was time to start getting rid of things here and there slowly. So when they hit their 70s, that's when they really started like getting rid of stuff, because they said that whenever they passed away, they didn't want me and my brother to kind of go through all this stuff. But it got to the point where they had to go into the assisted living, but at least they got rid of a lot of junk. So yeah, it's just that I just don't want anybody to come in and just throw it in the trash. I would rather, like, my friends take whatever they want to keep, but could sell it and kind of give it to family members or something, you know. Swedish death cleaning, is that what it's called? Yeah, because I know back in the day when people would pass away in my town, like, their family members would have a garage sale, and you could go to the garage sale and find all kinds of crazy good shit. But these days, like, that really doesn't happen much anymore. People do, like, estate sales now. Yeah, Terrell, like, I would don't go through what I went through with my parents getting older. The best thing to start doing is slowly getting rid of stuff, you know. I would tell your parents, like, if you guys are in an area where you can have garage sales, start having garage sales in summertime. Start purging stuff and tell them to use that money to either put in savings or go away for a weekend, you know. Because there's no sense of keeping this stuff when you get to that 70 mark. If you make it that far. I don't think I'm going to make it that far. Yeah, Raccoon, that's kind of what's going on. It's like you hit that age where it's like, all right, it's time to get rid of this stuff so the kids don't have to deal with it, or, you know. And even like, when my parents, when I was getting them into assisted living, and I was talking to the realtor to sell the house, I was like, do you think we should have a estate sale? And she's like, your parents did such a good job of getting rid of everything. There's nothing really here to have an estate sale except, like, just old furniture you just throw away, you know? So at least that was kind of good on that point. I mean, Terrell, don't throw away everything so your parents have like nothing. I mean, if they have a couple things that they want, that's fine. But at some point, you gotta kind of just start saying, okay, well, you don't need this and this and this, but you can keep that, you know? Because this way, you get to that point where when you have to get ready to sell the house, you know, it's like you get so overloaded with all that stuff. And even though my parents really didn't have anything in the house, just stuff in the shed, stuff in the garage, some of the stuff in the basement, even clothes, and like it's still a lot to deal with. So I can only imagine for families that have parents who have like house cluttered to all hell. So that could be a nightmare. You know, it's just, I was just happy that they got rid of a lot of stuff when they did. So I was pretty thankful for that. It still was rough though. But garage sales are still popular, at least by me. Our town has like the springtime free garage sales where anybody can do it. You don't have to get a permit. And people are always going to these things, snagging stuff. I can't imagine though anybody these days really like selling really good expensive stuff at a garage sale. I think a majority of people these days know what stuff is worth. So I can't really imagine getting like, you know, finding those holy grail items anymore. Yeah, that's kind of, yeah. Yeah, Terrell, that's like... I have family members too that were like more sports people. They wouldn't know what any of this stuff is, so it would just be thrown away. But yeah, eBay did ruin that, but it's also... I think more what I see more these days around me is I see scrap guys. I see guys who go around and pick up like metal. Whether it's a refrigerator, stove, old tools, or AC units, the scrap guys around me are always picking up that stuff. So I could kick myself in the ass though. When I was younger, back in high school and middle school, I used to go to my grandmother's house, my great aunt's house, and I used to collect a lot of their old stuff because they wanted to throw that stuff away. And I would take it and I would go to the town's flea market. We would go there, we would collect all their old junk. We would fill it up at the garage, and then my father would drop me off at the flea market, and I would sell all that stuff. It was kind of like a job, you know. I was helping family members clean out their house, and I was selling their stuff for money. But now, as eBay, like you said, eBay ruined everything. I look back at all that stuff I sold. I mean, of course, I don't know where I would put all the stuff, but if I saved all that stuff, if I put on eBay, I would make crazy amounts of money because it was all stuff from like the 20s, you know, the 40s. From my grandparents and stuff. But, you know, at that time in like 1993, 92, who the hell knew that eBay would be a thing, you know? But that was what we did back in, at least that's what I did back in the day. And then when I would sell, that money would be used to buy comic books and stuff. So it's kind of like a nice little job for the family, and it also helped me get some money. But then again, selling that stuff was like, you know, oh, that's a nickel, that's a dime, you know, type thing. It wasn't anything like, that's like $20, that's $30. Yeah, 80s and 90s had a lot of shows, and then I guess it was just pretty much garage sales or flea markets. Flea markets were pretty big in the 80s, I would say, in the early 90s. And I would say the flea markets died out probably around 95, I would think, around my area. But yeah, flea markets were a really, really big thing back then. Because, I mean, you didn't have the internet, so you had to sell stuff. There was this one place up in Union, New Jersey. It was called the Union Marketplace. And people would have regular, like, you know, it was like a big warehouse. But people would rent out a little section in the warehouse. Like a little, like a size of my studio. A little room like this. And they would have, like, their little flea market stuff on the weekend. So they would stock up on certain things and would bring it into that flea market. I miss stuff like that. That stuff was fun back in the day. But like you said, eBay ruined everything. Alright, I gotta do some sanding on that in there. And let's see, this is... Yeah, we used to have our comic book show at the Holiday Inn in my town. So around 92, the comic book show from all the comic book stores would go to the Holiday Inn. And that was like once every month in the summertime. That was fun. I miss those type of shows. eBay ruined the hunt. The hunt was the fun thing in the 90s. Going to shows, going to comic book stores, trying to find something. And then when you found it, it was like, it was really, really like just that amazing feeling. Like, oh my god, I finally found this after so long. But sadly, once eBay came along, you realized that everything you were looking for, there was thousands of it all everywhere. You just weren't able to get it, you know, in your area, that's all. Yeah, shopping malls too. That was also a big 90s thing for me too. Especially the arcades at the malls. Like I said, if I could have a time machine, I would go back to the 80s or 90s, probably the 90s, early 90s. I don't care. I wouldn't miss the internet at all. Or cell phones. I could live without it. Yeah, shopping malls are I still believe. I think the reason why shopping malls died was because in my area, and I'll still say it to this day, the malls after I graduated from art school in '98, when I came home, the mall started slowly dying because they got rid of all the stores for kids, like your high school kids. They got rid of the stores. They got rid of the food, the food places. They got rid of the arcades. And anytime kids would go into the mall, they would kick them out if they weren't with parents. So I think that's why the malls died in my area, because they stopped making it for kids to go to. And that's why, to this day, if the parents would go to the mall and they would let their kids go into the arcade, you'd have people spending money. But the malls started becoming high-end in my areas. And it was so high-end, it was like, well, I'm not spending all this money to buy this crap when I could get it online cheaper, you know? So I think that's why the malls died. I think the malls forgot that when you have kids come in and they grow up in the mall, they want to go there as an adult, you know? And they just got rid of all that stuff. Because when I was a kid, we would go to the two malls. They had an arcade, they had candy shops, they had KB toys, they had the food mart, the food court area. They had, Orange Julius stuff. They had all that stuff there for kids. But they stopped wanting the kids to go. And then it was like, well, why is a kid going to go in there when you have high-priced stores that they can't afford and you get kicked out? Yeah. So, see, I remember... Like, alright, so maybe I was around 10 years old, I would say 9, 10. My mother would go to the mall. She's like, I'm going over there, you go in the arcade, and I'll come get you when I'm done, you know? So she would go, she would do her thing, and I'm in the arcade for like an hour or two, just popping in quarters playing, and next thing you know, I grab me by my ear and say, let's go, even in the middle of a game, you know? So that's kind of like my type of thing as a kid, so... Yeah, you had the music stores too. You could go in, you could listen to music and stuff, and yeah, they just started kicking all the kids out. So, you got rid of half of your base there. Hell, I was in high school, and it was after high school. I was 22 years old. I think the one arcade was left at the one mall, and I remember going in there. It was like a weekday. I was off of work, and I went in the mall, and I get this cop tapping on my shoulders, like, "Hey, what high school do you go to? You're not supposed to be here." I'm like, "Dude, I'm like 22." I'm like, I'm just off of work for today. He's like, so I showed him my ID. He's like, oh, okay. So, they were just going after kids. Oh yeah, those days are long gone, JC. Long gone. If a kid gets a $20 bill from their parents, they probably buy a card so they can put something on their phone. I know. It's an asshole thing to say, but... Although my mother didn't give us money. She just said, we're going to the mall. If you have any change, you better bring it with you. Otherwise, I'm not giving you any. So... Basically, that's why we would save quarters, just in case we did go to the mall. I could play arcade games. I had my little arcade shoebox, what was it? The coffee, chock full of nuts can, full of quarters. That's it. That was my little quarter saving bin. I lived on Street Fighter 2. That's all I ever played. When Street Fighter 2 came out, now that's probably around the 90s is when that came out, I think. But in the 80s, the game I loved to play, I guess I played, you know, Donkey Kong, because everywhere had Donkey Kong. But I loved 1942, Magic Sword. I don't know if you ever played Magic Sword. That was a fun game. And then the really old game where you had the bar at the bottom and you had to hit the little blocks, but when the blocks came down, you get power-ups and you had more guns shooting those blocks. I forgot what that game, but that's going back to the 80s when my aunt used to take us when she babysat us to go bowling. You guys ever have a ground round? You guys ever have ground round growing up? I remember going to ground round, and they had a couple arcade games, and there was peanuts all over the floor. I don't know if you ever. This is 80s stuff, and this is funny. Can you imagine walking into a restaurant and there's just broken peanut shells all over the floor as you're walking? Can you imagine that day going into a restaurant like that now? It was funny because there was just peanuts on every table, and all the fathers and parents and kids are breaking peanuts, throwing the shells on the floor, and you would run over to the arcade. There's like 3 or 4 arcade games, and yeah, that was the ground round back in the day. Oh my god, that's so funny. I remember that too. Yeah, they call it ground round here. That was like the little chain in the area. Five Guys? The Five Guys near me don't have that. They have those peanuts there, but they're not all over the floor. Now, when I'm talking about they were all over the floor, literally, you would crack the shells and just throw it on the floor. And everybody would be walking around with shells cracking on the floor. It was, like, insane. But it was accepted back then. But nowadays, like, if you went into a restaurant like that, people would scream and yell, this is disgusting, you know. But that was, I guess it was like an 80s thing. Or an early 90s, I forget. Yeah, like I said, it was a different world back then. Like, I don't think... Like, everybody used to say, yeah, let's go to ground round, let's go to ground round and eat, and nobody even second-guessed shells all over the floor. Ah, come on, man, this is like 80s and 90s, no one cared about safety hazards. I rode in cars without seatbelts, you know? The old-fashioned way is when I was a kid, that is, you get into an accident, your mother would put her hand to stop you from going forward. That was the seatbelt back then. And I'm not joking, we had a... Pontiac Grand Prix with the bucket seat in front, where you could literally fit 4 people in the front seat, and there was no seatbelts. Texas Roadhouse? Okay, yeah, and there was no allergies back then for peanuts. At least I don't remember one kid in my high school or middle school that had allergies. So I don't remember anybody ever having an allergy issue growing up. And everybody had peanut butter and jelly for lunch. Well, I think the seatbelts in the car we had were just ripped out or torn apart or just didn't work. So, like I said, we didn't really have seatbelts. Oh yeah, now the Pontiac Grand Prix we had was green. Okay, we're talking like green, and the seats were pleather green. We're talking that 70s green car, you know. And yes, we would go to the Springfield pool, and after the day we would leave the pool. When you open up that car, it was just an oven in our seats. Yeah, it was. Yeah, and just imagine that you get in that seat, you're outside all day in the sun, in the pool, and then you're getting in there before the AC even kicks on, and you're not wearing a shirt, and your back is just stuck to the back of the seat. Yep. It was good times, man. Good times. And the sad thing is, I wish I was embellishing or making this stuff up, and I'm not. I'm not making any of it up. This is the world that was back then, which is funny. Hold on, I gotta take this. Hello? Ah, okay. Alright. Automated message from the assisted living place saying that they taken precautions for my parents and people in there, so that's good. And now they're texting as well. That's good. That's good. That's good to know. Alright, let me put some baby powder on this real quick. Alright, gotta do some sanding on this, but at least alright, yeah, a little tweaking and sanding, but at least now it's not a big gaping hole in everything there. Alright. Alright, I think I'm tapped for tonight. I'm going to get all these brushes cleaned up so they don't go to hell. So it's been fun. Good reminiscing down memory lane. With that being said, you guys have a good, safe weekend. And hopefully the storm doesn't screw too much up for everybody. And if you do have it bad, stay safe. But yeah, so, alright, I'm done. Have a good one, guys.